Have you ever wondered how to get more shapely hips? Maybe a slightly bigger, bouncier booty, or you want more curves in that figure of yours? Well, stick around and I'll show you how. Hi, my name is Sophie Summers and welcome to the Hip, Booty and Curves review. Today I'm going to be looking at a whole range of silicone-based products that are designed to enhance those curves of yours to make you look more sassy and more appealing. So I'm going to be doing them one at a time. I'm going to go through a technical review of each of them so you can see them, and also I'm going to be popping them on so you can actually see them in place. So without further ado, let's do a little bit of an unboxing and start this review. So let's open the box and see what's inside. Nice little box, well constructed. And the product itself comes in a sealable bag, which is quite good too. So let's have a little look. Now this is the boxer version of the garment. It's quite short, it goes up to the thigh area and just over the tummy. It's quite a soft, very soft actually, and pliable silicone here. This colour was probably described as a creamy sort of colour here, and there is a little bit of padding around the bottom area. I would say around about 1 centimetre thick, but there doesn't appear to be anything on the hips at all. So let's turn the inside, or let's turn it inside out, because I think there's some little things in here that we need to have a little bit of a look at to see what they actually do. Now, without being too rude, there is a sort of sheath and a urea area here that would, if connected somehow, it appears would be able to, you'd allow you to go to the toilet without sort of taking it off. This particular section here, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I'll leave that to your imagination. Now the inside on this particular one is very smooth, but I know on some of the designs, probably more of the later designs, they decided to use a stippling effect in there to reduce the contact of the silicone on your skin and increase the airflow to keep you cooler. So I think this one's a slightly older generation one. Now it's also around the female area, which I don't want to sort of exposed to the camera for obvious reasons. This particular one is quite hirsute, to say the least, but I know most of them are actually what I would call el naturel, so nice and smooth. As I say, the colour itself is a caramel colour. It's a very, very pliable, and it's probably weighing around about this one's probably weighing about 1 kilo in weight, I would imagine. So very, very flexible, but let's see what it actually looks like when you put it on. So that's it in place. I've got a 21-inch circumference thigh, which fits in quite nicely, and as you can see there's quite a bit of room left here for expansion, so if you've got slightly larger thighs, don't worry there. And it's the same around the tummy. I'm a 32-inch male waist, and I can assure you there is a lot of room left in here. So as an estimate, I don't know, but I would imagine this would go quite comfortably up to about a 42-inch waist, and it wouldn't be digging in. Now in terms of flattening my stomach and my male area here, I think you can see from the side profile it's quite well tucked in and quite tightly in place. It doesn't feel uncomfortable at all to wear, and in general it's not too hot. Now in terms of adding any sort of extra sort of booty on, there's a little bit you can see at the bottom part of the cheeks here. This is where this 1.5 centimetres comes into play, but there's nothing more on the actual hips themselves. So that's the garment as in sort of its rawest form. Let's have a little look at what it looks like when you actually put something tight on over the top of it. So I popped on a pretty tight pair of jeggings here so that I can see if any of the lines are visible. The line at the bottom end here is slightly, I can feel it but I cannot see it at all, so that's a good sign. If I turn sideways, as I say, these are fairly tight. It's keeping me very well tucked in this area here, and it's giving me a little bit of an area around the cheeks here, a little bit more of a booty, but it hasn't really enhanced my male sort of shape down here. I'm still very much a straight up and down shape here. So let's move on to the next design. So let's move on to the slightly longer version. This one here actually goes all the way down to your knees. It's made out of exactly the same as high grade silicone, and very, very soft and very, very pliable and stretchy, may I say. Now this one's actually slightly different in the respect that it's actually got hips built in as well. So there's a graduation of silicone from the waist down to 2/3 of probably the length of the knee. You can feel it as you sort of, it's about this length here, so you can actually feel it inside. I think at its highest point it's around about 1.5 to possibly 2 centimeters in thickness, and it's also got quite a lot of silicone packed around the bottom. Its weight, I would say, is somewhere between 5.5 and 6.5 kilograms, so it's quite weighty. It's nice, it's got all the same details, a little bit of detail in the belly button, etc. So let's see what this one looks like on. So with this longer version, you can see here, it comes down to just about on my kneecaps here. I'm 5'6" and a very important ½ an inch, so 5'6½", and that's how long they come down to me. It's right up into the crotch area as well. It's very smooth across here, and with this design there is a little bit of a padding around the hip area here, so we're starting to get some sort of enhanced hip area here, and there's quite a bit more also on the booty area here, so you can probably see that the bottom is a bit more pronounced around the cheek sort of area there. So this one, it fits very snugly. Again, I can move around with quite comfort, quite easy. It isn't that warm to wear at all, and it's not that restricting either, so that's quite a nice sort of progression in terms of shape. So we're now starting to get a little bit more hip area here, and certainly bottom area there as well. So let's have a look at what this particular design looks like in the same jeggings we saw earlier. So here we have it with the jeggings on. It feels quite comfortable indeed. I can't see any lines around the knee area here, which I thought we may have done, so that's quite a good sign. I think overall it's got very, very flattering sort of flattening capabilities around the front area here. It was quite good at the back, I think, around the booty area here, and I quite like the gentle curves you get here, not over exaggerated. I personally prefer more curves, but you can actually see and feel the curves as you run your hands down. So there is quite a bit of padding here. It's quite squidgy actually, and as I said earlier, it's quite easy to wear. They're not very constricting at all, and I think they look quite good. I'm actually quite impressed with these. So here we go, let's move on to the final big beauty design. So there, that longer version gave us some padding around the hip areas to give us a bit more of a feminine hourglass figure. Now, as I said there, I'm more of a person that likes a lot more curvature to my hips, and I can't wait to do this particular review because this to me is the Rolls Royce. It weighs a staggering 7 kilograms in weight. It's a shorter version, but there is a lot of silicone pumped into the bottom area and the hips. It is what I call the Nicki Minaj bubble shape. So if you're somebody who likes a Kardashian or a J-Lo figure, this will be something you'd be quite interested in. So without further ado, let's slip into it and see what it actually looks like on. As they say, if you're looking for a eye-catching figure, these are certainly Nicki Minaj-esque. They are enormous, great hips you're getting here, and a derriere as well. For me personally, I love them. However, I think the thigh area here for me is a little bit too large. I think you need to be slightly bigger in the thigh. As I said, I'm a 21-inch thigh here. I think you need to be slightly bigger. So there's quite a lot of area here, and they're quite weighty. And I've had a little bit of difficulty getting my knickers on, if I'm really honest. But they are super for giving a really, really bubble bottom and a really, really curvaceous hip here. These are probably the Rolls Royce, the ultimate sort of shape silicone wear that you can get, and just look at the way that they move. They're fantastic. So let's have a see if I can possibly get into my standard 14 size leggings or jeggings wearing these big beauties of Nicki Minaj. It's quite a substantial curve you can achieve by wearing this particular garment, this shapewear garment here. This silicone sort of fits in and warms up nicely to your body. You can get quite a dip in the waistline with the corset, but look at that. The sheer curves of the whole garment here. It's a nice bubble bottom and great hip shape there. So that's the last one of the review as well. So let's wrap this review up. So I hope you're as impressed with that particular item as I was. I must admit I was very intrigued by the amount of curvature you could get, particularly when you combined it with a waist clincher or an underbust corset, as in my case. I felt very Nicki Minaj-esque, a very bubble bottom and a very hippie indeed. So I hope you like that one, but the review is not quite over yet because I think it's pertinent to just pop these little ones into the equation as well, because you may not really require those sort of short versions, as in a hip and a bottom combined. You may just want some extra hips, and these are very good at solving that particular challenge. As you can see here, they taper down to a very thin edge, which is what you're looking for when you're wearing these type of hip pads here. Now with these and all of the products I've had done in this review, there will be links listed down below if you want to find out a little bit more about them or even purchase them. So I've enjoyed doing this review. It's a real eye-opener, and there are a lot of big developments in the silicone market that I think will be coming our way over the next couple of years possibly. So all that really remains for me to say now is, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do consider doing so. It will help us out. Also hit the notification bell so that you will be one of the first to know when we upload any new videos. So, and finally, as they say, please stay safe, stay gorgeous, and thank you very much for watching. Please take care. Bye bye.